Hi everybody, I am Fallon Danita and I am the production manager and screenwriter of Bjorn the Last Unicorn. My favorite part of writing Bjorn was actually what ended up being one of the hardest parts of writing Bjorn, but was finding the individual character voices. I think that they're all such weird and quirky people that it was so much fun trying to figure out what made them different while still all being completely insane in the best way. I loved getting to write the character interactions, I loved getting to write the jokes, and it got even better once we had started thinking about who was going to voice these characters. It was just such a cool process of going down the line of finding out, like, okay, this is how this character sounds and talks and thinks. So that's definitely my favorite part. The greatest challenge of writing Bjorn was partly making sure all the characters were very individualized and making sure that they all felt like they were standing on their own 2 feet, but also doing so much in so short a time. Writing in 5 to 6 minute scripts is pretty complicated whenever you have to think about getting the plot across, making sure it's concise, making sure it's clear, and also making sure that everybody is kind of equally represented as a character and that the audience has enough time to get to know them as characters. So that was difficult, but it also made it really fun. I'd never gotten to write anything like that before. The process of finding the voice actors was a lot of research, and the research ended up being spending hours on social media, funny enough. But that was the truth. I had to try to find people that were content creators that fit sort of the personalities that were developing for the characters that I was writing. And that was really fun and very interesting. It was in a lot of ways similar to how casting does work, except instead of auditioning, we sought people out to come in and then audition. And that process was pretty cool. Trying to find people that we thought could kind of encompass that character was a pretty cool process. It started with me finding somebody and thinking, they've got a really great sound, they have a really nice voice. I can tell by the content they create that they're very creative and they have, really good acting chops. And then sending that over to Tom and being like, do you think this person works? And he would be like, yes or no, and then we'd keep going. And we got really lucky. A lot of the people that we picked were first picks. They were the first people we went to for the character, the first person that we had in mind, and they ended up being perfect. One of the roles that I feel like was kind of made for one of our voice actors was definitely Caleb Hyles playing Bjorn. Now, for those of you that don't know, Caleb Hyles is a musician and YouTube cover artist. He has, a great following. He's got 1 million subscribers, hundreds of thousands of fans across all social media. I think he's an amazing content creator. He just released his first original album, by the way, everybody. But he's a great content creator and he's very talented and he's a great person. And I remember thinking like, okay, we need this bright, bubbly, like new sounding guy to be Bjorn. We need somebody that can really fit this role of this eternal optimist unicorn. And I thought about Caleb and I was like, we have to use him. Like his persona and the energy that he brings to his music, like that is Bjorn. Like that love of creating and of being, an influencer and a content creator. Like we need to use that for Bjorn. That needs to be what Bjorn is. And so we auditioned him. He did great. And then we kind of were like, I think Bjorn needs an accent. So then we kind of threw that at him and we're like, can you do like a very weird pseudo Norwegian accent? And he was like, I can try. And he ended up knocking that out of the park, which was a really cool recording experience. Kind of watching him feel out how this entirely new voice was going to be. So I think he's a great creator. He was great to work with, and I couldn't imagine anybody else being Bjorn.
Awesome.
It was also really great once we got to meet the content creators and kind of learn more about them and about their process and their stories and how they became who they were and what they did. And it was also really interesting learning about this whole separate community that's sort of outside anything I've ever done before or what Tom had done before or other people on our team. And we were in a meeting one day and Jesse, he goes, by the way, I'm friends with like this really amazing TikToker. She's awesome, she's super busy, but she wants to break into voice acting too. And we're like, yeah, set us up, we'd love to meet her. And he's like, sweet, it's Call Me Chris. And we're like, well, yeah, we would love to use Call Me Chris. I mean, she's an incredible content creator. She has a huge mass following. She is brilliant. And it was great. Like, we reached out to her, and she was so excited, and she has so many different voices and like different kinds of things that she can do, and we're really looking forward to using her not only in this season but in, you know, hopeful future seasons to come, as we are with all the voice actors, just so we can continue working with like that just untapped reservoir of talent. Like, it's amazing. It's been such a cool experience, and I'm so grateful to get to work with those guys. They're awesome. My favorite behind the scenes story about the process, and he's gonna kill me for bringing it up, but this is definitely when we were recording Chad and the narrator's lines. So Jesse Elkins is playing that character, and he didn't have a soundproofing booth at his home. So he got really creative and he set up his mic behind his mattress. Jesse is, I think, 6'5". So you have to imagine a 6'5" man manhandling a huge mattress while having to deal with a microphone in his face and having to think about how to act and respond to the critique we were giving while we were recording with him, and he killed it. But it was really funny, especially because he was off camera for most of it. We didn't know until about halfway through the process. He was like, by the way, guys, I'm having to fight with my mattress, give me a second. And then he turns the camera over, and it's just this 6'5" guy being crushed by a mattress trying to act, and it was great. That's my favorite behind the scenes story. It was just so weird and crazy. It worked though. I mean, you know, don't knock it if it works. But that was probably one of my favorite things, was just the process of getting these people who hadn't been voice actors previously, getting to work with them and sort of troubleshooting a lot of that aspect of it. And I think Jesse has the best behind the scenes story of him acting behind the mattress. So I'm Valentinita. I am the production manager at Pencilish and the screenwriter of Bjorn the Last Unicorn, and I hope you guys really like the series. I think we're making something special. You're kinda amazing.